Okay, PMSL CSA Grand Final Day 1 Match 1. It was a Sandhawk, and as you can see, Team Secret dropped towards bootcamp, but around bootcamp, I think they wanted to get some vehicles. That's why they did that. After that, we can see that Kitsune here is knocked, right? Kitsune here is knocked. Obviously, if you're gonna drop bootcamp, your IGL can extend and try to get some scouting in this circle, especially where there is a portion of the circle that's on water. So you want to get to the center of the circle, but this was just over aggressive and out of touch for someone of the level of Kitsune, who should have known better, and they should have known that Dagestan dropped there, right? Because if you can see, load, please load. Okay, if you can see, Dagestan drop here, right, into the, for what we call in Bangladesh, the 1952 compounds, right, uh, east of the Hatin bridge, those compounds, and they have a big split going on, which to be fair, but Kitsune here pushed way too much. I would have liked it if he had just, I will show you what portion of the map they should have had control of. I think holding on to this hill, holding on to this hilly area, this should have been enough. You don't have to push all the way to the north so early in the game, and it was a rookie mistake. It really has to be said from Kitsune, and they got knocked, and then the entirety of team spirit pushed onto them, and their game was just over from there. There was just nothing to be done. I think if they had just held on to this hill and try to cut off any sort of rotations that were coming in from the south, I think that would have been a better option for them. And early loss of Kitsune, which is a theme going forward, you will see in this video. Early loss of Kitsune really hurt team spirit in this match, and it was over before it even started, in my opinion. Okay, after that 1.2 we saw, there we can see that the zone has moved up towards the north, and now the water from the circle is gone, which is bound to happen. You're not gonna, if you have this much water in the first circle, you're not gonna get it in the next circle. So it centers up pretty decently, a bit of a eastern shift, but already, as you can see, there's such a big cluster forming around the center of the map, and champions have a good spot over here, and VP is making a rotation, DRS is also making a rotation. If we take a look at where VP dropped onto Camp Charlie, and DRS dropped onto Sahami, right? So these are difficult rotations, but generally when the circle moves up north, the teams that play Camp Charlie and Sami, they have easy rotations. I know it's not technically easy rotations, but they find good positions up into the circle, because their only option is to loot for a long time, get all the medicine that they can get, so that they can survive out into the blue, and then make this north, I will show you, then make this sort of Camp Charlie, then make this sort of north eastern rotation. They try to get an entry point through here from the northeastern side of the map, and then typically the team that goes first, that is able to make the rotation first, gets cow, which is a very good a position in this zone, because this sort of zone is either gonna center up on Tatmok, or it's gonna center up on Paradise. So getting to the north of the circle from such a low position, it's actually a very good rotation path. I used to do that as well. I have played Camp Charlie and Sami, although at a much lower level, but when the zone went up towards Statmok, or when the zone went up towards north, that's the sort of play that I would do. I would loot for a long time into the blue, so that I would have enough medicine. Nowadays the teams use vehicles, but back in the day we didn't use vehicles, we would just make the rotation on foot. That's why we needed a bit of extra meds. But as you can see here, Virtus Pro and DRS, they're making that rotation with the vehicles, but they're making that same rotation, that same northeastern rotations, and this is a very classic way of playing. And as you can see, Champions Esports, they dropped. Where did they drop? They dropped to the east of Paradise, and they're sort of staying in their area because they don't really have to move. But I would have loved to see them like take control of this entire hilly region, because you don't know where the zone is gonna go, right? It could center up towards Paradise, it could go towards Tatmok, so you should have taken a bit more control, I feel like. And I think that cost Champions Esports later into the game. Yeah, okay. After that, in 1.4 we can see that, yeah, there you go, VP have already made that big rotation from the northeastern point and now have Cow. And because of the fact that DRS drops Sami and VP drops Kamchardi, if they are gonna try to do the same rotation, DRS is of course obviously gonna be behind VP, right? So this is a big thing. They try to do the same rotation and try to enter Cow, but they're gonna get caught off by VP and they're gonna get gate kept later into the match. So DRS had a good idea, but it's just the fact that there was a team that did the same rotation before them. Yeah, okay, Champions right now. Champions now try to move towards Statmok. They had this portion of the hill, so now they have an easy entryway into the circle. Onto the western side, we see Four Thrives. They got a very easy 4 kill when Navi were trying to swim across in this region, and they got a very easy 4 piece. I think they got a 3 piece, right? Okay, Navi dropped onto ruins and they tried to make a rotation. I think, did they swim the entire? They didn't swim the entire way because it's not possible to be getting there so quickly. I think they got a boat and then they had to ditch the boat and tried to enter through this position, and Forte got a very easy swipe on them. And Team Spirit lost a member early, then committed to this compound. I'll show you on the map. Then committed to this compound. They lost a man here and then committed to this compound, and they couldn't really leave that compound because it's on the lower ground. So that's another point why I don't like playing compounds in Sanhok. I think it's yet another example. They don't really get much from that match entirely. But APG, as you can see, are slowly but surely pushing in, and they're gonna make a move towards this side of the map in the western side, and they're gonna fight 40 in the future. But VP's rotation, DRS's rotation, and Champions already dropping close to the point, so they had it pretty much easy. But as I said before, Team Spirit really get nothing from this match and only get 1 elimination point. And yeah, it was an early mistake from Kitsune, which I felt cost them, and the entirety of the team then committed to trying to save Kitsune, and that got them stuck into a position, and that pretty much was it. Now, as you can see on the western side of the map, as we said before, 40 and Alpha Gaming are gonna fight. The Champions now sitting pretty on Tatmok and Virtus Pro, making that big rotation and taking the control of Cow. Yeah, Corina Power here have a decent position. What rotation did Corina Power make? Oh yeah, Corina Power dropped Paradise, so it wasn't that difficult of a rotation for them. Yeah, after that, the team that has control of Cow generally is gonna win this circle, right? Whenever the zone centers up in Tatmok, and that's what happened. I think APG got to this position. I think they beat 4 Thrives, and then the hold from Champions was too strong from that position, and then Alkatsi I think did good, but Virtus Pro just came in and cleaned it up and got the chicken dinner. Okay, let's check out the standings. Okay, yeah, Virtus Pro getting the chicken dinner, obviously 21 points from that match. C1 getting a zone that's closer to them. They dropped east of Paradise, took control of Tatmox, so that's why they got 12 points. Upgrade had a decent match. Let's see what Upgrade did. Where did Upgrade drop? Oh yeah, Upgrade dropped towards the dock. So all these teams that had to make a northeastern rotation or a northern rotation, they did very well. Except for DRS, because they got get kept by Virtus Pro, as you can see even in this picture. There you can see the players of Virtus Pro already setting up inside Cow. So DRS came in with the same idea and they just got absolutely battered. Yeah. Alcatia. Let's see what Alcatia did in the entire match. Oh, Alcatia dropped Cow. So yeah, should have been a better game from them. 8 points, not bad, but should have been better. APJ can't really fault them too much. Amix and Konina Power 40 got an easy 4K early in the match. Where do 40 drop? Yeah, 40 drop Hatin. So it's not a bad game for them. Could have been better. Okay, let's see where Amix drop. Where do Amix drop? I can't find Amix. APG, do they drop around here in Paradise or some place? Quarry, maybe? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. DRS did get 3 placement points from that. Yeah. One of their guys survived, I guess. That's pretty much it. Okay. Now let's take a look at the second map. Okay. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys something from the first match. This is the clip that I have saved. It's a fight between C1 and Hora, I think. It's lagging. Why is it lagging? Okay. There you see Jiggle gets a knock on a player of C1, and then Sky. Okay, it's breaking down, right? Atomic with the nade. Sky tries to heal. Okay, it's lagging. I'm gonna. Okay, now here's the problem. Sky sees Atomic, has started cooking the nade, so he wants to hit Atomic with this nade, right? He wants to hit Atomic with this nade. But the problem is, in such close quarter fights in the current meta, with the shotgun meta, you just don't have the time to cook nades and throw them in such close quarters. It just never happens. By the time that you pull the pin of the nade, if the enemy has any idea, he's gonna push you with the shotgun. Also, the time that it takes for you to cook that nade, any enemy that's standing next to you or opposite you, he's gonna get impatient and he's gonna push with the shotgun. 6 seconds is just way too much of a time in the shotgun meta to be cooking nades in such close quarters, and that's what happens. We'll see. Please play. Okay. Atomic, see, he's cooking. Atomic gets impatient, jumps up with the shotgun, and now again jumps up and will get the finish onto No Fear. So yeah, you just never get time. You never get time in the shotgun meta to be cooking those nades in close quarters. So that's just something that never happens. Okay. Now, if we take a look at the second map, okay, so this is the circle, right? DRS and Regicide somehow fight over at Primox. I don't know why this happened, but this shouldn't be happening this late into the tournament. You can't be hot dropping or having drop clashes and try to make the PMWC, which is what all of these teams should be looking at, right? All of these teams should be looking at making the PUBG Mobile World Cup. That should be their key goal. And if after all of this leading up to it, Regicide and DRS must have played scrim matches before the tournament even started, then we had 2 days of calibration where you play a lot of Erangels. Then you had the entirety of the league stage where you clashed in Milta all the time, so you wanted to secure Milta. So now, right now, I don't know why they're clashing in Primox. This is nothing other than ego. I just don't understand it. if you clash, if you are having hot drops this late into the tournament, you are not going to be one of the top teams, and you're not going to be going to the next stage, which is the World Cup, which is the big tournament, which is the STI tournament, where like $3 million or something is up on the line. So this is something that never should have happened, and I just don't understand it. The English commentators, especially Maxman, he doesn't understand it as well. So yeah, it just hinders your entire game, doesn't it? So this is something that was really confusing in my opinion. Okay, I'll just leave this open if it decides to. Okay, it's now let's take a look. Okay, so you see this, right? I After seeing this picture, sort of a very important question came into my mind. Look at all this central cluster, right? This kaleidoscope of colors. Every single team is trying to get to the center of the circle, right? Every single team is trying to get into the center of the circle, which is what you should do. In Erangel, if you're not playing the center of the circle, there's a very high chance that you're not gonna get any big points out of that game. You want to play the center of the circle. Generally, the team that gets the chicken in Erangel will get a lot of kills that accompany with it, and it will be closer to a 20-point game. So that's what you want. Your goal should be to get more than 10 points in a game every time that you drop in, right? But if everyone is playing the center, then it comes down to luck a bit, right? It comes down to how lucky you get with the circle shifts, and this is what used to happen back in the day in Vikendi, which I feel like, and this is what is happening in Erangel right now. The position points have so little value these days that you want to get kills, you want to get third parties, but in Erangel your macros like don't really matter because everyone else is getting the circle of trying to get the center of the circle. So there you have to fight very early for positions, I feel like, and you get such big cluster towards the center of the circle. Like look at this place. I'll draw it with a different color to emphasize. Look at this space on the outer skirts of the circle, right? There's nobody there. So this is something that I feel, I don't know if the meta is going to change or what, but you need to play the center of the circle to get big points in an angle. But so many teams are playing the center of the circle that it comes down to luck, it seems. That's what it seems to me. So yeah, I just felt like, look at Team Spirit, right? Team Spirit are trying to have a split. If we load Erangel, Team Spirit are trying to have a split around this portion of the land, trying to have control, but getting splits going when everyone is trying to get central position, it just doesn't work and they get punished again. I think so many teams, 3-4 teams, just crash onto this compound because it's the most central part of the compound, right? Sorry, central part of the circle. So many teams just absolutely full send it into this compound, and that creates clash there as well. Look at all of these teams, right? So this match, I think, was very very confusing. Just now that the circle is centered up once again, look at this cluster. The entire circle is filled with colors. There's nothing left, just some space in the western side of the circle, but except that, everything, the central cluster is so strong that there's just nothing you can do. There's gonna be fights galore. You are gonna need a lot of luck, and yeah, you have to hope that nobody else third parties you, because you are so many teams are in such close proximity that teams are gonna third party whatever engagement that they see. If they see that the position that other two teams are fighting in will have some sort of strategical advantage, right? So teams are gonna third party you all day long. So that's what happened. Okay, what is this? Okay, Alpha Gaming. Yeah, so in this compound, Alpha Gaming, Virtus Pro, Upgrade, like so many teams just absolutely full send it, and that's what happened. I think, as you can see, Upgrade is here, Champions is here, DG is here, here is another team, here is another team, so many teams in such close proximity, and this central position of the circle, everyone just send it there, and it became sort of a third party haven, but also a cluster, absolute cluster. The word, I'm what word I'm trying to use, I can't say that. It was such a weird game for me. After that, yeah, Team Spirit got absolutely rolled. They were the first team, by the way. They were the first team that set up shop over there. They were the first team that took that area. They had a very good split going, but when you are surrounded by so many teams, your split means nothing, right? So Team Spirit got close to nothing out of that game, 2 points as well. We'll talk about Team Spirit at towards the end of this video. They have been very disappointing throughout the day, right? Okay, if we take a look, this is what I'm saying. Like clashing with a team at the southwestern edge of the map in Primorx means that you have such late entrance into the zone where you are gonna have to push in through to get to the center of the circle, and even if you get edge, you will have to fight with other teams because they are gonna try to gatekeep you. So this is what I was saying. DRS, I just don't understand the fight with Regicide. One of these two teams has ego issues. That's what I think, and that's what happened. But I wanna bring your attention towards Hora. Look at Hora. They drop Yasna, right? So this zone is close to them. But look at the split that they got going. They have two guys towards the city and two guys towards this field compounds. I'll show you on the map. They have two guys here and two guys here. So if the zone shifts towards the city, two of these guys can regroup towards there, and if the zone shifts towards the fields, the two guys from the city can shift towards and regroup there, right? So this is such an aggressive split this late into the game, where especially when all the central teams were in this area. Now it has cooled down a bit because some teams have gotten eliminated, but to have this sort of split this deep into the match at this distance, I will show you the distance, by the way. I will show you the distance, measure mode, right? It's a 300-meter split, 300 meters, such open fields. There's like it takes time and it takes balls to have this kind of a split. So this was very good to see from Hora, such aggressive split to have control of the circle. They have the center of the circle, exact center of the circle, as well as they have backup if the circle moves towards Yasnaya. So this was very aggressive and very nice to see from Hora over there. After that, if you can see 2.7, yeah, circle centers up, and still look at Hora. They're still holding this split, right? They're still holding this split. So yeah, this was very commendable from Hora, and this is something, the confidence to do that, and the sheer ability, sorry, no, the sheer mental fortitude to do this kind of split in the grand final of a super league tells you all there is to know about a team, what sort of a mindset that they have, and this will reflect at the end of the day in their overall standings as well. After that, we can see the zone centers around here. AST have a good split here. Amix towards the northern side. Katsia, I think, what was the point I was trying to make? Okay, cost VP at the end. Okay, let's take a look at VP for a bit. Okay, VP drops towards Lipovka, right? So they have to play from the eastern edge of the circle when close to nobody is, because they're at the most eastern part of the map in their drop spots. So they don't go for the exact center because they know that due to this plane path, I will show you. Where is it? Due to this plane path, the probable teams are gonna be from here to here, right? So all the teams are gonna try to get the central position. So their position towards the east, they can't afford to move through into the center, right? Because the cluster is already going to be there. So they should be trying to avoid the cluster and stay towards the eastern edge of the map always, which is what they did, if I'm not mistaken. See, BP is towards the eastern edge. Now again towards the eastern edge. Now they have to make an entryway. They play late. They play late. Now again they're at the eastern edge. And after that they send it on towards the compound. But while they're sending towards the compound, they make a mistake, which I'll show you guys. Yeah, they had a very good They had a very good grasp on this fight. They have one guy from upgrade knock, but Aragon jumps out without his teammates backup, gets finished, and believe it or not, this actually costs them in the end. VP takes this compound but loses one in the process, which means that they don't have their full squad up and running to tackle Hora when the time comes for them to meet. So this is what happens at the end. But okay, I'm gonna take a look at what's their name, Viper Knockout, right? It's just not gonna load. Okay, Viper Knockout. Let's take a look at Viper Knockout's path. Viper Knockout, where do they drop? They drop Shelter. Yeah, so it's not that big of a rotation for them. But now they find themselves in the southern edge, so they have to fight. They still held on to that position. They didn't fight there, but now they're pushing towards from the south towards the northern edge of the circle. They fought Dagestan and wiped them. I think it was a very good fight from them. So at the end of the day, three squads remained, right? Viper Knockout, Hora, and VP. VP made a crash, made it happen. Viper Knockout crashed onto Dagestan, made it happen. And Hora have just been had this super aggressive split, and then they just set up towards the center of the circle. That's where the zone ends up, right? That's where the zone ends up. But I will show you another mistake that cost Viper Knockout, in my opinion. Okay, let it load, guys. Okay, see here, one player from Viper Knockout is knocked, right? So they send a guy with a buggy to revive him. They get the revive, which is all good, but after that you will see what happens. Okay, I don't think so this clip covers it entirely. Okay, right, they get the res, right? Now the zone is pushing onto him. The zone is pushing onto this guy, Alpha Boy, I think. Alpha Boy, is it? I think so, yeah. Alpha Boy is getting pushed by the zone. Now, whoever this was, I can't say his name, he went over there with a buggy to revive his teammate. Now, this position is not playable anymore. So, get him onto the back of the buggy and bring him to the rest of your teammates. This play baffled me so much. Got the res, and then Alpha Boy heals up. You'll see Alpha Boy heals up and pushes out into the open when there was a buggy next to him, right? His teammate came with a buggy, so he should have gotten on the back of the buggy and just send it out of there to back towards his team. This play made zero sense to me. Like, Alpha Boy, this was such a throw from Viper Knockout. They lose one man, and then they pushed on to. I will show you guys. I think I can show you from in this clip as well. Now Viper Knockout don't have the zone, as you can see in the minimap here. They don't have the zone. They have to push into Jiggle and Hora. And look at this spread from Hora. They have a guy on top of the roof. They have someone besides hard cover there with a drop, with a Groza. This is an off angle. And No Fear and Jiggle with the nades as soon as the crash comes in. And No Fear is also nading. So this was such a clean execution towards Viper Knockout. They crash in with the vehicles, but they just get absolutely rolled. They had no chance whatsoever, and Viper Knockout gets absolutely rolled right here. Okay, so now it's VP versus Hora. So this is where that earlier loss that I uh, made you guys watch, that comes into play. The VP didn't need to lose one against the push and upgrade. Aragon played it super aggressively without his teammates. Didn't take cover, well, didn't have cover fire from his teammates because he pushed it solo, lost his life in the process, and then at the end game, Hora had 4 running while VP had 3, and ultimately that cost VP. If I can show you guys, okay, this is stage 8. Okay. Oh yeah, they push in stage 8. They didn't even wait for stage 9. I thought they waited for stage 9. But yeah, again, aggressive play coming in from Hora. They didn't wait for the zones to close in and that sort of end zone to push them into fighting VP. They made their push. They knew they had the man advantage. So they utilized their man advantage and got the chicken dinner, right? And I took this screenshot of Sky because I wanted to appreciate Sky has been one of the key players, if not the key player for Hora in this entire PMSL, and has been one of the best players in the tournament so far. So I took this screenshot and I wanted to appreciate Sky, but you'll see it comes into play later as well. Okay, now towards the third match, I have no notes, I have no videos on that. This is where the circle went. Pretty boring central circle, right? After that, another central shift, right? Again, as you can see, what I was saying, so many teams at the center. I would want teams to play center, but if every team is playing center, then it becomes so much difficult, right? And okay, what is this? I have to close that. So then, because everyone is in the center, the western shift happens and everyone is in chaos. Because now everyone has to move from the east to the west, right? That's the direction that everyone is going to move. So now it becomes sort of a race. It becomes sort of a race as to, oh, the screenshots that I am taking. This is why I've remembered now why I took these screenshots. Okay, look at 4 thrives. Look at 4 thrives. Before that, I want to show you guys. Okay, so 4 thrives dropped into the west of the farm, these compounds, right? Now look at 4 thrives. They're trying to bridge camp Alpha Gaming, right? They're trying to be bridge camp Alpha Gaming. So Alpha Gaming understands that, Alpha Gaming realizes that, and Alpha Gaming then goes towards the eastern bridge, Novo bridge. They knew that the military bridge is camped, so they thought that they would go towards the western bridge and play from there. But now that they have seen that the zone has gone, had a western shift, but now that they've seen that the zone has had a western shift, they go back. They go back and try to access that military bridge one more time. Okay, if I can show you guys now. 3.4. Yeah, again by the way, 4 thrives, they're again set up at the bridge, right? So it should be a bridge camp right now. Alpha Gaming should have no way of going through, breaking this bridge camp, or just trying to evade it. They should lose man in this push if they try to go from this bridge. Navi at the back have that same thought, process. I will show you guys where Navi dropped actually. Okay, Navi dropped Novo, and then where did they go? Yeah, they stayed at the Novo bridge, at the bottom of the Novo bridge. They actually crossed the Novo bridge, but because of this influx, because of this western push, they knew that all of these teams are gonna rotate from the east to the west. So they tried to take the southern route so that they could get a free rotation. Basically, that's what they thought. But 4 thrives are camping the bridge. APG and Navi, both of these teams are coming in with the same thought process. Okay, now that the eastern shift has happened, we can get the western bridge or the military bridge empty. And look at this. Look at 3.5. What happened here? I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Fourth Thrives is absolutely set up. Their goal is to bridge camp this, because if that wasn't their goal, as soon as, okay, come on. Okay, as soon as this shift happened, right, they should have taken the Pochinki Hill, which is the central part of the zone. They didn't go for that. They went for the military bridge camp, and then they just let all of these guys through. They let APG through, and then they let Navi through. Then they then let Navi through, and now they're trying to, if 3.6, I think 3.6 is taken from a minimap. That's why it's not clear. Okay, now Fourth Tribes are trying to play the center of the circle, but you've already allowed Alpha Gaming to pass through, you've already allowed Navi to pass through, then Navi crashes onto, not crashes onto, but catches Fourth Tribes in a position where it's not favorable towards them, and Fourth Tribes get eliminated from this match. Right, Fourth Tribes got, I think, nothing from that match. I don't have the point table for you guys, but Fourth Tribes gets eliminated, as you can see, from 3.8, I think. Yeah, Fourth Rise is not there, right? Okay. Yeah, Fourth Rise gets eliminated. Alpha Gaming. Okay, close this. Close this. There's a weird fight going on between Matic and Effect and Alpha Gaming. Alpha Gaming and Team Spirit had a weird fight going on. Alpha Gaming chucked like 30, more than 30. Not 30, but close to 20 grenades towards these guys. They finally got the eliminations. Effect and Matic refused to leave this shack. They had a split going on. Their cars were absolutely battered, and Regicide took shots towards them as well. And both of these teams fought each other and didn't really get much value out of that match. But look at Regicide's position, right? Okay, let's see what Regicide has done in this match. Regicide drops towards where? Giorgio Pool? Yeah, Giorgio Hill. And then because of the western shift, they now have a central position, right? Now they have a good position towards the circle, and they're gonna chill here for the rest of the match. DRS takes this position, which is pretty good as well. Their vehicles are gonna get banged up, but other than that, that position is good as well. Okay, DRS drops Milta. And how do they make this rotation? They have to move towards the zone, fighting all this cluster. They take Potato Hill, and after that looks like they just send it. Looks like they just send it towards this compound, because I remember seeing that their vehicles were all messed up. But towards the end of the match, Regicide have this central compound. APG top is the only one surviving, as Matic and I think one other guy, Nomi maybe, was surviving with Team Spirit. Both of these teams, they fought each other and just weakened each other. And DRS now have a good position. Regicide now have a good position. All of these teams, they finished these teams one by one, and then Regicide and DRS fight, and it was a hilarious fight because Regicide absolutely ran out of everything. They had no ammo because they were holding this position for such a long time and taking shots at everyone. They ran out of ammo. They couldn't loot anyone else. So DRS at the end, because they crashed onto this compound and they had the utility, they then clean up this fight and DRS gets the chicken dinner. So this was the third match. Okay, now let's take a look at the fourth match. This is the playing path. I will just keep it here. Nothing too much to see. Okay. Oh yeah, this was the water circle, right? What happened? Oh yeah, DRS's rotation. Let's take a look at the DRS's rotation. Oh, by the way, DRS and Regicide drop fight again. They hot drop again, which is such a hindrance. I cannot say this enough. I just don't understand why this has to happen this late into a tournament. This hinders both of these teams. Ego issues, put them aside and just play your game. You have to survive till the end to get those big points in a match. Okay, now DRS, then I think they got a hovercraft. Match 4. Okay, they have a hovercraft, and they make this weird rotation. They don't want to push through the east to the west. Okay, 4.2. Let's open. I had 4.2 open. I should have kept it. Okay, I will just leave it there. Okay, now it's edited. Okay, now see, they have an option of forcing through from the east to the west through from this circle, but they knew that the plane path was this plane path, and this is the probable area where the teams are gonna be. So they're at the eastern edge of the circle, so there's gonna be already a cluster happening towards this side, so they didn't want to take that chance. They took their hovercraft and they sent it towards the military island towards this side. They banked on the fact that this will be sort of a water circle and this circle may come back towards military, and even if it didn't, they had the hovercraft, so they are going to play towards Primox, right? So this was a very interesting rotation. It's not something that I would have done. I would have tried to play it late and go towards the mainland, and from the east to the west. That's what I would have done, but they did this and it worked out for them in the end. Okay, 4.2, let's check it. Okay, this is 4.3. This is where DRS has crossed over, and look at all this cluster that's gonna happen on the shorelines, because that's what happens when you have a circle like this. But then the circle shifts. And look at this circle, like 70%, well, close to 60% of it is water. All of the teams that are committed onto the mainland, they're absolutely screwed, and DRS now finds themselves in a pretty good position, right? DRS now finds themselves in a pretty good position. It then goes south one more time, and all of these teams, they're absolutely done, right? DRS now have a very good position. APG, military island circle, they should have a lot here. They should get a lot of points from this, but that's not what happens. Okay, Regicide somehow centers up onto this spot. Okay, I will show you guys what happened. Regicide dropped Milta, then they made a water rotation. Yeah, they followed what DRS did. Okay, yeah, actually they followed what DRS did as well. I didn't even catch that. So both DRS and Regicide had the same idea. It was a crazy idea, by the way, but it worked out for them. The zone shifted south and it worked out for them, right? But I want to take your attention towards the eventual winners of this match, which is Dagestan. Dagestan dropped school. Then they realized, okay, we won't have the center of the circle, so we should take the north of the circle. So they rotated late, which I think they could have rotated a bit earlier, but they took the northwestern side of the circle. They wanted to take the north of the circle. They want to be at the northern side of the circle, which is the idea, right? Because they dropped school and all of these teams that are already going to be clustered up here. That should have been the idea. So they went towards the north, which is good. But now look at this rotation. Now, because of this cluster, they know that they have no chance. They have no chance of going from the military bridge or from the Primox side, because the shoreline is going to be packed with teams, right? So they make this incredible rotation towards the east through the Novo bridge, and then come in through the southeastern edge of the map, right? So this was an incredible rotation from Dagestan. And Regicide and DRS also made, like, these were very good rotations. And I see Alcatia and APG, these two teams should have done a lot better with this circle, because APG now need to push on towards Dagestan and then take this control. I will show you guys. Okay, APG, from this position, what APG should have done is they need to play this dip, right? They need to play this dip and then push towards Regicide. But to play this dip, they need to clear out Dagestan. But they focused their energy too much on Alcatia taking knocks towards them. And Dagestan, what Dagestan do is, Dagestan pushes towards Regicide, which they have to do, and Regicide played it way too passive. This is the difference, right? Regicide played it way too passive. This is the difference of a team that is confident in their fighting ability and a team that is not. Regicide just took it, to be honest. They just took the fight, took the beating that was dished out onto them, and Dagestan completely overwhelms Regicide, and APG don't take the opportunity to third party. They are way too focused on Katsia. They're split. while it looks good on paper, it doesn't work out because they don't find the appropriate timing of the third party. They never managed to third party Dagestan. This high ground is so useful, right? And Dagestan then rolls down on towards APG, cleans everyone up. APG cleans up Alkatsia, Dagestan cleans up APG, and then DRS and Dagestan fight together. I don't think I have the footage of that. Okay, these guys fight then, and DRS then, when Dagestan were third partying APG, DRS should have taken this high ground and try to third party Dagestan from there. So two teams, APG and DRS, both of these teams, they didn't third party when the timing was right, and that's why Dagestan came out of that match with the chicken. And yeah, as you can see, I will get you guys the match ranking. Yeah, Dagestan absolutely played out of their minds, got like 23 points. Alkatsia had control of the western shoreline, so they farmed points there. APG should have been a bigger game for them, should have been a much bigger for them. It definitely should have been an APG chicken, considering the position that they had and the circle that they had. DRS got some good point out of the game with 8 points, and Regicide got some points out of that with 4. So yeah, that was match 4. After that, if we move on to the Miramars. Okay, so this was a circle. Plane path, where is the plane path? Okay, I don't have the plane path, but this as you can see, it probably must have been this sort of a plane path based on the enemy based on the team's position. So immediately we can see that Virtus Pro have a clear rotation through this, from Vera Del Mar. They can loot Partona, they can loot Vela Del Mar, and then they can take these hilly areas and have an easy rotation in, right? Okay, I'll just okay. Yeah, Regicide goes towards Monte. But still, Virtus Pro have an easy rotation in, right? But the circle shifts towards the north, and look at this setup from Hora. Look at this setup from Hora, right? This setup from Hora is fantastic. They dropped Tore Amuda, saw the circle, went over quickly, and set up towards Crater Fish. I think they lose one man. They lose Jiggle. Otherwise, it would have been a much better game for them. But they and Virtus Pro again, from the western side, they were the westernmost team, southwesternmost team, so they have an easy rotation all throughout. Even with the northern shift, it shouldn't be any sort of a problem for them, right? But Virtus Pro didn't actually get much out of that game, it seems like. Or are they here with Navi? Did they send it into the crater fields? I don't even remember. But look at MX's position. MX's position is the key in this match. But with Hora, I just wanted to give credit to Hora because they have played yesterday so brilliantly. They did all the right things, and luck played well. Not luck, because they make the rotation through, right? They make the northern rotation through, and then they set up towards crater fields. So that's what happened. AMX dropped towards Hacienda and just take this compound where the zone shifts, right? The zone constantly shifts, and AMX have to do nothing. AMX have to do absolutely nothing, and they just get this entire zone towards them. DRS, okay, let's see what DRS did. Where did DRS drop? DRS dropped Minas Generales. Yeah, so this shouldn't be that difficult of a rotation for them. They have to push towards from the southern side of the map, southeastern side of the map, and then they, I think, Viper knockout and Ford thrice fight, and DRS third parties that. But at the end, it was MX's position was too good. They sat over there for such a long time. They didn't waste any ammunition early in the game. Utilities, they had it, and MX takes the chicken dinner in that match against, I think it was DRS or Regicide in the end, but I think it was DRS in the end. But MX takes that chicken dinner. Right, okay. So from the fourth match, there was a clip. Naomi did something really cool. So I want to show you guys that. Oh yeah, so this is from the fourth match in Primorx. Look at Naomi now. Trix is pushing up to him, right? Trix is pushing up to him, and he's in this. Well, it's not a panic room, but it is sort of a panic room, right? His teammates, two of his teammates are knocked. So this is sort of a 1v1. So what he needs to do is delay the fight, which he does. He pulls the pin, which invites Trix upwards, but now Trix thinks he has dropped down, and Flique is up, English is up, and their teammates can provide, where MX's teammates can provide him with cover fire now. So this is something that pulling back and having your teammates provide you ADS is such a good thing. And yeah, this Naomi played it absolutely perfectly. He pulled back when the timing was right, and then English pulls up with a vehicle so that Trix cannot jump out and try to make it a 1v1 with Naomi. MX played this perfectly. And yeah, I think what now they're gonna push in. They're gonna push in a bit. Yeah, yeah, there was just nothing that Trix did. But Naomi delayed the fight, let his teammates get revived up, and then close in back with him, and that's how they finished that fight. And this was such a perfectly executed fight. That's what I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so in the last match, is this 5.2? Oh yeah, I've talked about 5.2, right? Okay, so this is now the last match. Another of that same weird sort of a plane path, southern plane path. And the circle goes towards where? So the circle goes north again, actually. The circle goes north again, and look at Hora. They've set up already, right? This is so good to see. I love Greater Field Circle, and I love when teams set up in these high ground positions. Hora. Okay, so the plane path forced them, right? They dropped Toreamo that they couldn't get to. I think they were trying to get to there, or were they trying to get to Crater Fields or Lac Obreria, somewhere along those lines. So now they have set up one more time. Let's take a look at APG. Chuma Serra, they dropped, and then they make a northern rotation. They went a bit later, which is fine, because they knew the drop spots. I don't really know how APG gets into these positions. Like, somehow I think Dockside yelling is a bit underrated, because he always seems to get his team into the zone, and he makes some bold calls which seem to work out in his team's favor, because his team is so good at gunning, right? But yeah, APG always seems to get inside the zones. And yeah, Crater Field Circles look at the split that Hora have going on, and then they send it into the Crater Fields, which was like, this was a bit concerning for me. I thought, because if you have this portion, okay, I will show you guys. 6.3. Right, if you have the eastern edge of this circle, right? The one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to send it into the Crater Fields, because if it's such a low ground, all the teams outside are going to take shots at you. That's what I thought. So this was a very, like, confusing decision for me, but it worked out for them. Somehow it worked out for them in their favor. They send it in. They could have played the position of DRS, right? They could have taken the position of DRS and fought it for them, but they didn't fight. They send it in. They bided their time. Corina Power, look at Corina Power right now. They have such a good position, right? It should be Corina Power's game, but it didn't happen out in the end. I will show you guys why. Yeah, okay, so this does nothing for me. DRS has to move in now. 6.6 or 6.7. Okay, before that, I want to show you guys a clip of Team Secret, and I'll show you guys this with the commentary as well. Team Secret have been so disappointing, man. Throughout this entire tournament, they just haven't showed up. I don't know what it was, if it was a lack of preparation, they didn't take it seriously, overconfidence or what, didn't study the lobby properly, but they just haven't showed up. And they tried, I think another one of the problem is they have tried to play the center of the zone, and they have went, I don't think they have went too early, but they have tried to play the center of the zone most of the times, and it just hasn't worked out for them. I really don't know what happened. But team spirit, in their fights they have looked weak, which is something that is like astonishing. And I just think this roster for such a big organization, it just doesn't suit them, right? I'll just show you guys this fight.
Getting taken out there.
Just listen to the casters. They're baffled.
Nomi goes out as well.
Kitsune goes for the finish and gets gold.
I am tired.
And then they send it.
Team, no. I feel bad for laughing at Team Spirit, but what? I know the plane path was not good, okay? It was not a good plane path for them.
Yeah, Team Spirit got absolutely rolled, and I was very disappointed with them. Yeah. But after that, I think 6.6 or 6.7. 6.7, Wiki rolls Navi. Oh, yeah. 6.7 is where it's at. Right, from here. Now, Viper Knockout. What? Wiki rolls Navi. Okay, Viper Knockout rolls Navi, right? Navi were coming in from the eastern side, so they had to push in through this region, right? Viper Knockout also have to push in through this exact region. Upgrade gets rolled, first of all. Upgrades gets absolutely booted out of the lobby. And then Viper Knockout rolls Navi. Viper Knockout rolls Navi in this position. Now Corona Power has to gatekeep this, right? Corona Power has to gatekeep this, and Hora are at the bottom of the circle right now. So this play that they did, Hora sent out 2 so that when Corona Power tries to third party the engagement of Viper Knockout and Navi, that they can get a 4th party on towards Corona Power and take this position, because this position is the most important position in this map, right? This is the most important position. This is the match winning position from this spot. So all of these teams, Corona Power then realizes that Hora has pulled up to their third party, and moves back. But then Viper Knockout is going to try to move towards this portion of the map, because they have to get inside the zone, right? So the engagement of Corona Power and Viper Knockout happens, and then finally again with the impeccable timing, Hora third parties towards Corona Power, and then they take this entire ridge line, and I will show you guys what they did. Okay, I think I have to open that with paint as well. Okay, yeah, look at the engulfment from Hora. Corona Power is trying to kill this guy from Viper Knockout, Alpha Boy. They are trying to finish Viper Knockout, but Corona Power now have left themselves open, and Hora from this portion goes towards the back. Look at this split. Towards the throughout the ridge line, right? Throughout the ridge line, this split. No Fear and Sleepy comes from the back of Corona Power and then backstabs them. Sky is here to finish it up, and it was just a clean execution from Hora. And look at the English casters as well. They're so hyped about this thing. This was such a brilliant play from Hora, and it was the perfect example of how you should third party a fight. But then at the end of the match, APG somehow pull it through. Alcatsia and Hora were supposed to fight, and they take advantage of that, and Corona Power, a solo from them, still survives. Yeah, and then at the end of the day, I think, who took the chicken dinner? Yeah, APG took the chicken dinner with 19 points, but Hora had such a fantastic game. 15 elimination points, takes them towards 20. Alcatsia Actually, I didn't actually see what Alcatia did in this. Okay, so let's recap. Okay, Alcatia, oh yeah, so they had an easy entryway into the circle, but they fought. They did good. Yeah, they did good. They did good. Fourth thrives. KP did have a very good portion of the circle. They should have done more with that. But Hora absolutely outplayed them with those third party timings, right? So that's something. Kunina power. But I want to see what fourth thrives, Viper knockout they did. Fourth thrives and Viper knockout. Okay. Where did Viper knockout? So Viper knockout had a difficult rotation. Fourth Tribes didn't actually have an easy rotation either, but both of these teams they made the northeastern rotation, right? They took the entry point from the northeastern side, so yeah, that's pretty much a decent chunk. But after that, I just want to say we have talked a lot. I've been talking for like an hour right now, but I really wanted to appreciate Sky. He has been so good throughout this entire tournament, and this daily MVP, he definitely deserves it. Hora definitely deserves to be sitting at the top after day one. And APG, although I don't think APG have done as good as they should have, they had some difficult position. They probably could have gotten a few more points, but not that much. So APG didn't actually do all that bad, and the chicken dinner at the end really helped them. DRS, I think, is a team that surprised me. They were consistent throughout, and even after all those hot drop clashes, to be sitting at 3 is no mean feat. Kurina Power probably went under the radar, but they were the most improved team in the league stages, and this shows, right? Virtus Pro, I think I expected a bit more from them, especially after the finish that they had in the league stages. Alcatia again, a team I don't remember them. I have taken a look at DRS. I have taken a look at Alcatia, and I just don't really remember them throughout the day. But I think they stacked up the points. MX is another team, so there's not a lot between the 3 and the 7th position, right? The 3rd and the 7th position, there's not a lot. There's like 6 points separating them, and 10 points separating the 3rd from the 8th. So still game on. Fourth thrives, I don't think they did that well as they should have done comparing to the league stages. So yeah, that's where it stands. But team spirit is someone that were very disappointing. And yeah, if you have stuck around all this time with me, I wanted to upload this video a lot earlier, but some issues have taken place. That's why this video is going out a lot later. I wanted to cover all of the super leagues, but I just don't feel like that I will have the time to do so. So I'm gonna be making this video, and then I will see where it takes from there, how it does, and what's the response from it. If you guys like it, I will try to make it. But I made a video on Southeast Asia, and now on CSA Central and South Asia. I'm making this video in English because of the fact that I want to reach a broader audience. I want to reach all the PUBG Mobile esports audience. Anyone that watches esports should be able to watch my videos and get something from it. And yeah, maybe this sort of long, lengthy videos are not going to be happening anymore. But I saw the matches and I wanted to make it. That's why I made it. If you've stuck around all this time, thank you very much. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.